I can guarantee this will be the most valuable video you ever watch. What is up guys, it's your boy, the Beast of Ecom, back with another video, dropping nothing but value bombs as I always do. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to anyone who has subscribed to my YouTube channel. At the time of recording this, we're currently sitting at around 500 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, please do hit that subscribe button. I do bring nothing but value. And anyone who has joined the free course, the free Shopify course, is at around about 2,000 members now, over 2,000 members. So I hope you are all getting value in that. And anyone who has joined the free Facebook mastermind group as well, I think we're at around about 500 people in there as well. So today's video, I'm going to be talking you through how exactly I did over $1 million in just 2 months this year in 2018. Now I'm going to be breaking down the exact strategy, okay, right from the test ads. I'm going to be showing you how I actually scaled it close to 45k per day. I'm going to be breaking down the whole process, not leaving a stone unturned. This is probably going to be one of the most valuable videos that I ever put out. So make sure that you stay to the end. You don't want to miss any of the content that I put out in this video. Like I said, I can guarantee this is going to give you some crazy value. Okay, I posted this exact same strategy in a text format in a Facebook group, and the response was crazy. So I knew that I had to literally get on camera and share it with the rest of YouTube. Just as a reminder, once we hit 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, I'm going to be giving away $250 to someone at total random, plus a personal mentorship call from myself. We can discuss anything that you may be having trouble with when it comes to e-commerce, Shopify, dropshipping, anything. I will go over and present to you solutions and try and help you out in your current situation. So if you want to be in with a chance to get that $250 and personal mentorship call from myself, all you've got to do is literally just subscribe to my channel, and once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be picking someone at total random to receive that money and personal call from myself. So please do subscribe. So let's jump straight into the computer and let's get on with it. Right, so let's jump right into this case study on how I did over $1 million in 2 months this year. Okay, now I'll leave a link down below actually verifying these numbers. It will be a video, a really quick short video of me refreshing the back end of my Shopify screen and stuff like that, just so you can actually see that the numbers are real, because I know there's a lot of skeptics out there. People always scream fake and all those sorts of things, so I want to verify these numbers. So if there'll be a link down below, a quick video, it will be unlisted from my channel, but click on it down below and it will be me talking, verifying, refreshing my screen and all those sorts of things with the numbers that were done. Okay, so let's jump straight into this case study. And remember, if you do get some value from this, which I hope you do, please do subscribe to my channel. I fully appreciate it. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so the product. Okay, how did I actually find the product? Now, this actually came from an unconventional way. I actually have a supplier out in China. I've got 2 main suppliers who I work with directly, and this product was actually suggested to me by one of those guys. Now, when I actually got the link to take a look at it, when they were showing me the pictures and stuff like that, it was doing very well on Amazon bestsellers. So when I was checking on Amazon, the product itself was doing very well. Something similar on Amazon was doing very, very well. So that was my first kind of green light as to it potentially being a goer. So what I've done as well is I had a look on AliExpress to see if there are any vendors actually selling it and the sales numbers on AliExpress. Now, to my surprise, there was only 2 or 3 sort of vendors actually selling a similar sort of product, which is a great sign for it to test, because if it's doing well on Amazon, okay, the massive e-commerce platform, and there's only few sellers actually selling it on AliExpress, it means that a lot of dropshippers may not have caught onto it as of yet. So this could be a very good chance for it being a golden winner if you come across a product like this. Okay, I seem to be in that category whereby it was doing fantastic on Amazon, and there was not that many AliExpress vendors. The numbers weren't extremely high and stuff like that of people selling it. So I knew that this was something that could be an untapped product. So it was all the great signs for me to actually run it and give it a test. And finally, it was obviously a generic product. Now, I sell a lot of generic products that have mass appeal, okay? If you want to do those massive days, the 10K per days, you know, and how this scaled up to 45K per day, okay? The products have to have sort of mass appeal, okay, in my experience anyway. And finally, I really like to have products that solve a problem. I've put here the best type of product, okay. It's a general product, mass appeal for everyone all over the world. You've got massive audiences to scale to if you get that hit. And again, it solves a problem. So it's much easier to sell a product that solves someone's problem than trying to sell a product which just looks good or has no beneficial real use at all. Okay, so that's kind of the basics of the product in principle. So moving on, the actual test. So what did I actually do? How did I set things up to actually test to see if this was a viable product? Okay, so what I did is I used a website conversion. I'm going to assume that you've got a little bit of experience in Facebook ads, so you may see a little analogies such as WC and WW and stuff like that, but I'll break those down. So I used a website conversion, which stands for WC, an advert with the purchase objective. Okay, I always go for purchase generally because I want Facebook to send me buyers and not tire kickers or people who are just going to add to cart, people who are just going to click on my website, waste me money and not buy the product. So I generally put my trust in Facebook in that when you actually select a objective, Facebook will send you the traffic that your objective is geared towards. So I always select, purchase objective because I want Facebook to send me buyers, people who are going to click on the advert, add it to their cart and actually purchase and check out. Okay, so I've done a website conversion advert with the purchase objective. The video, the advert itself was a video ad. I always find that video ads always work the best. The supplier themselves actually had a video of the product in demonstration. What I did is I pulled it into Premiere Pro and was able to create captions and add music, catchy music and stuff like that, which I got a little bit of experience in that and making it look cool and catchy. So that's what I done. It was a video advert. Okay, what I then done is I set up 8 to 12 ad sets. Okay, and I like to split it between WW, which is worldwide, and the US. Reason being is because now I find that the US has higher CPMs. The CPMs seem to be extremely high in some cases with the US. So I always like to split it because if you put them all together, you know, the worldwide will target the whole of the worldwide. US generally seems to push up my CPMs. So what I like to do is I always like to split it. I split my US out with my worldwide, and of course I exclude any sort of bad traffic countries because you don't want people who, you know, haven't got the money to buy or just literally again just tire kickers. So countries such as Indonesia, India, Peru, Guatemala, all those sorts of ones. You can literally do a Google search and just try and kind of find, because a lot of them are kind of cash on delivery as well in a lot of parts of those countries, especially India and Pakistan and stuff like that. So yeah, credit cards and debit cards and stuff aren't really as abundant. So I always exclude bad traffic countries, and the budget itself for each ad set was around about $10 to $15 per ad set. Now I like to do one single broad interest per ad set. When I'm talking broad, I'm talking massive audiences. These can be anything from sort of 2 million to 40 million, absolutely massive audiences because they get mass appeal. Again, you can easily scale these up to the big numbers a day. It gives you a lot of audience, and again, your frequency and stuff like that isn't going to be as high with narrow audiences. And again, your CPMs are generally a lot lower as well, targeting these broader audiences. So I use one single interest. If there's a few interests that are related, but they're you know, the audience isn't massive, then what I will do is I'll stack them all together until I do get something around the million mark. You know, I never really like to go less than a million, if I'm being 100% honest. It's just what works for me. And remember, this is what works for me. Every sort of ad account is a little bit different. So this strategy in this case study works for me generally going forward, but you know, I'm always testing, I'm always developing different strategies and stuff. So this is what worked for this specific case study, but this is what I generally sort of do. Targeted men and female, because again, it had mass appeal. It wasn't geared towards just women, and it wasn't geared towards just men. So you know, I targeted both men and female. The placement itself was desktop and mobile newsfeed, so it was both of them together. Now I created two different creatives. I always like to test two different creatives, not just having one, to see which one performed better. Once I know which one performs better over, you know, 24, 48 hours, I generally pick that one to go with all of my ad sets and run with it so it gets the most likes and stuff like that. As you can see, this is what my testing ad sets sort of look like. As you can see, splitting it out by US, the ages were 25 to 65. US, as you can see, interest one, splitting it US, ex-US, and the two creatives in there. You can see how that kind of panned out. So that was sort of my testing ad sets. Now, moving on to the scale and the sort of numbers I was looking at and what I was kind of dealing with this actual product itself. So when I launched the launch ads, after 2 or 3 days, I always leave stuff for sort of 2 or 3 days to give Facebook enough time to optimize. You know, it's always important to let Facebook optimize. 2 or 3 days is generally the minimum I leave to leave stuff. And you know, the CPCs, the CPPs, the cost per purchase, that's what that stands for, was sub $5. Okay, and the ROAS was 3 to 5 across all ad sets. ROAS is return on ad spend. So you know, right there and then, I know that this product was something fantastic. Okay. So what I done immediately was increase the budget by doubling them to see how it responded, okay? Because when you push things, sometimes your CPPs go out the roof, which is not really a golden winner. So I wanted to push it and see how it responded. So what I done is I doubled the budgets, okay? From $15 to $30, okay? And again, after 2 or 3 days, the cost per purchase stayed consistent. That allowed me, it's time to scale rapid, okay? Because if you get a winning product, a lot of people will jump in the market and try and copy the product. So I like to scale super fast and just blow everyone out the water while I can, while I'm the first to the market. So what I done was I duplicated winning ad sets to manual bid. Each had a budget of $1,000 into a new campaign. That's what I always put them into, a new campaign. And what I done was I set the max bid. So the max bid, I always do max bid instead of average, max bid to 3 times the cost per purchase of my auto bids. So for example, I was getting cost per purchases at $5. What I'll do is I'll set that at $15. Okay, and monitor it from there. If it's that's what I generally like to set as my rule, and then adjust it depending on how it's spending and the ROAS that I'm getting. Then what I've done, of course, is I scaled to lookalike audiences, which you want to do. You know, that's where you bank. That's where you can make the most amount of money with your lookalike audiences. So what you can do with your lookalike audiences, I like to test all of them. 95% viewed of the video, which I like to go with. View contents, add to carts, initiate checkout, and purchases. So I test all of them. Okay, and I always like to split right up to 10%. So I'll always split it down. So 1%, 1 to 2%, 2 to 3%, etc., right up to 10%. What I always like to start with is US and EEA to start with, because they're generally where most of my buyers generally come from. So I always like to start with those first, and I'll probably start with 95% viewed ones and view content first, because they're where you have the most amount of data to start with. Again, what I do is take the winning auto bids ad sets of my lookalike ones. So I launch all these ones on lookalike in auto bid. You know, again, budgets as $10 to $15, and then see how they run for 2 to 3 days. And then what I do is, when I see that they're consistent, duplicate straight to manual bids, again at $1,000 per ad set, and just rinse and repeat all the way through the ad. You know, the lookalike audiences, cutting off anything that's bad, keeping anything that's good into your manual bids, and adjusting them going forward. What I've done then going forward was to scale further by breaking it down into best performing countries, ages, genders and placements. What I do is I export the data actually out of Facebook into an Excel spreadsheet, monitor and analyze the data of where the buyers are actually coming from, and then create ad sets going forward out of that data, so I know that it's pinpoint correct, and test all of those as well. And what I like to do is create a no target ad set and just let Facebook pick out my buyers. So literally target the whole of the world, like a billion people, whatever it may be, on Facebook, and just let Facebook pick out the buyers. And sometimes the ROAS on some of these are crazy because you've got that much pixel data and purchase information on your pixel that Facebook can just literally pluck these out of thin air. It's quite amazing. The retarget is super important, okay? Do not miss out on retargeting at all. These are going to be your most highest ROAS ad sets, in the whole of your campaign. So I always do retargeting as soon as possible, because people are generally hitting your product page, and those who don't buy, you want to be retargeting those people straight away. Okay. Now I like to do everyone who viewed content but did not add to cart, everyone who added the product to their cart but did not purchase, everyone who initiated checkout but again did not purchase, and then everyone who purchased, everyone who just purchased the product and showed them different products, and again everyone who viewed 95% of the video. So you want to be targeting all these people, retargeting these everywhere as crazy as possible, okay? Because again, they're going to be the highest ROAS ones. Again, you want to target these people like crazy with offers. I like to use a fruit bowl strategy, which is generally showing them all different sorts of offers, because what I want offer that works for someone won't work for another person. So sort of retargeting such as stock running low, people will buy at that. 5% discount code, enter X amount, whatever it may be, people will buy, different sort of people will buy at that. 10% discount, people will buy at that. Free shipping, people will buy at that. So as you can see, that sort of model works great, because not one thing will work for someone else will buy at it. So that is the whole case study in effect, and you can see how I've done about things. So I hope you've got some value from this video. And like I said, what works for me may not work for you, but this is tried and tested for me, and we scaled this one up to 45k per day with this same product and using this exact same strategy. So I hope this video provided you some crazy value, okay? This is what my channel is all about, just providing the top-notch crazy value for you guys, helping you make more money online. Remember, I have got a free course, totally free, to get you started with the basics. If you want to be in with that and join over 2,000 people already in there, all you've got to do is click the link down below. It's as simple as that. If you want to be in a free Facebook mastermind group, I'm in there, other hustlers are in there as well, then again the link will be down below. Reach out to me via Instagram, it will pop up on the screen. It's probably the best place. Give me a like, give me a follow, drop me a DM, and yeah, we can have a conversation on there. That is it for this video, and I'll be back with another one, dropping nothing but value bombs for you on a weekly basis. So take care for now, and until next time, I'll see you later.